Hello, everyone. Wow, you're with a lot of people. So I'm Ashley, this is Jurjen, and together we are from Form. And we are a studio for film and design. We're based in Rotterdam, the Netherlands. And as a couple, we work between short films, commercials, campaigns, film titles, graphic design, photography, and animation. And this is our studio in Rotterdam. It's like an old car garage in a very cozy neighborhood. And our dog, Kuro, always on our side. We collect a lot of chairs also. And lovely people around. And this is Joycey. She was our intern for 2 years ago. And she made a little clip of our work.
Thank you. Thanks. Yeah, so we met together in art school back in 2007, yeah. And we started working together during our graduation project. Ashley was doing interior and I was doing film. And after graduating, we started the studio together, but sort of pretty naive in a way. I guess you could say we just rented the place and sort of started from there. But over the years, we have learned and we have developed a lot. Our projects, our clients, our signature, but also the shaping, the vision of being a studio. And one thing that we learned during all these years is the importance of listening to our fascinations. It's something that brought us together and it made start the studio. And it's still deeply rooted in everything that we do today. And in our projects, we always try to start from something that fascinates us. So yeah, we can really sort of start working from there. And yeah, you know, sort of it embodies something that we're really excited about. And for us, it's all about cherishing and gathering things that you find, like objects, books, quotes, colors, photographs. And sort of the more specific, the better. So couldn't be like a century-old desert magazine to an old plastic toy. Recently, we're really into the design of New York hot dog carts. I don't know why. Or a little book that you find at the flea market. And following these fascinations can lead to an intrinsic way of working. It can spark joy, and it can surprise you in a lot of ways that you don't know what it's going to be. But yet you still feel very connected to the work. And yeah, we love going to flea markets together. And we just had this conversation this weekend while visiting a flea market here in London. And it's actually quite a nice metaphor for this idea, we thought. Like flea markets, they're this beautiful mess, you know? They're unorganized, they're unstructured. Basically, they're not dictated by any algorithms, and therefore it forces you to hunt for things that really directly speak to you.
And a project that illustrates the importance of listening to your fascinations is Amsterdam Museum Night. We did this campaign for the last 4 years, and this event it's an iconic cultural event where more than 60 museums open their door at night. And in 2001, we were asked to do the design for the outdoor and the online campaign. And during this Amsterdam Museum Night, you go from looking at a Rembrandt to a drawing session, and you end up at a party at a Van Gogh museum. And it was really clear to us that the campaign needed to express this diversity of the event. But how do we represent like over 60 museums in one campaign? And with so many museums to choose from, like some visitors might pick 2, while others crisscross the city the entire night. So how do we make it relatable for such a diverse audience? But we were also intrigued by all these connections happening in the city at the same time. And it reminded us of a quote of Charles and Ray Eames. Eventually, everything connects. People, ideas, objects. The quality of the connection is the key to the quality per se. And one of their iconic toy designs illustrates this perfectly. And it's this children's card deck. It's a game that exists out of 40 cards from the 50s. And they have all these little crops and a wide variety of textures. And as we felt this could be like an interesting approach, we did a little animation test with these cards, just to see if like a stop-motion approach would work for us. And it got us actually really excited. So with 2 cameras, we went to Amsterdam, and we started looking for our own details throughout the city and in all the museums. So we photographed these little fragments of art, museums, and soon we got hundreds of photos. But once we had all these photos, we also felt a little bit lost. And it didn't really feel right when we tried to make our own cards, and something was missing. And not only we were missing the people, like the audience, but we also felt that we needed to make like an extra step. So we printed the cards and we started playing around with them, and we tried to print them extra large. But it wasn't like a really good container that would connect all these fragments. And then, on also one of our flea market strolls, we found these old postcard booklets. And it was just laying around in the studio, and we loved the texture and the classic binder. And this actually gave us the idea to make a flipbook as a visual concept for the campaign. So referring to all the unexpected combinations during the event. So we created a flipbook with blank pages, and then we could fill it in digitally with animation. And we also photographed people in our studio, and combined with the crops we made in the museums, we had a series of gifts. And then for last year's edition, we came up with the theme of This, That and There. In Dutch is Dit, Dat, Daar. And we used scattered stickers and voice samples throughout the campaign. And this is how the campaign translated to print in the city of Amsterdam.
Yeah, and so last summer, the Amsterdam Museum Night, they approached us again and they asked us to work on another campaign. But this time we wanted to do something different. So we used the flipbook for 3 years with different variations. We felt like it was a good time to let go of the flipbook. And luckily they said yes. and they were open to new ideas, new approaches. And we were still intrigued by the core concept of the event, bringing together so many experiences during one night. So the issue they addressed was that it's tempting for visitors to stick to the popular places, you know, like go to only the Rembrandt Night Watch or a Van Gogh. And they wanted us to emphasize the event's diversity and the hidden gems of the program, so really stimulate visitors to move and explore, like a museum for self-playing pianos or the Amsterdam Pipe Museum. So you can open any museum door basically and dive into a new universe you never knew existed. So this concept of Museum Night acting as a multiverse, interconnecting all these places, formed the foundation for last year's campaign. And we felt like during Museum Night, you know, you can travel through past, present, and future. And unlike the flipbook, where the focus was really on the details of the museums, this time we focused on the traveling experience of the visitor. And we felt portals were our main concept to focus on. So, yeah, portals transport you to other places and times, but they also symbolize this idea of being transported through a feeling or through an experience, especially during Museum Night. So we did a lot of tests in the studio to see what these portals could look like. But here also, sort of, it was lacking something, so we felt like it's not only going to be portals that's going to help us to create a campaign, but we settled on this idea of a visual exploration of movement, and of course then you end up with Muybridge. So his book has been on our desk for a long time, waiting to be used for the right project. And yeah, we love the way of researching. You know, it's such a transparent way, and we were also really fascinated by this kind of stick figure walk cycle. So we aimed for a similar zoetrope-like motion in the campaign. And another influence reference was the movement exploration for the Prince of Persia game. And in particular, how the makers traced these self-recorded walk cycles from VHS tapes, using analog photography and adding markers. So it's really this digital analog hybrid that we really loved to use. So we really like this lo-fi approach, and as our characters in the campaign walk like stick figures, and it feels separated from its original purpose. So we did these stop-motion tests in the studio and some light experiments, sort of to mimic this feeling of traveling through these portals. And in the end, we used a treadmill, and you know, we had some talent in the studio and shot it like quite low-key with just a few people. And then we started to combine it with this other fascination, which is this retro sci-fi aesthetic. So then, in the end, we would end up with this sort of 80s nostalgia-inspired Muybridge multiverse. So, and then again, also here we translated this to the print campaign throughout the city of Amsterdam. And we even got so excited with our composer, Bo Zwart, that we asked him to do a vinyl, do a full soundtrack of all the songs. So in the end, he had to do it in 2 days. It was pretty crazy. We brought a few copies, so if you want to buy one, yeah, come see us after the stage. So yeah, as we all know, I think that concluding, you know, scrolling on social media, we're constantly overwhelmed with this visual stream, you know, of amazing work from talented artists and designers, and then there's also all these visual trends. So scrolling for a few minutes, it's really tempting to start comparing your work and sort of feel insecure about it, or yeah, feel like, maybe I should do this or go into this direction. And to us, listening to your fascinations remains the only true antidote to that. And we believe it's really the gateway to creating authentic and intrinsic work. And it's something that is so personal that it's independent of trends. And you can never fully explain it, and it embodies something like a culmination of everything that you've seen, heard, or felt in your life. It's something so genuine, yeah, you feel attracted to it. It makes it an honest lead in your creative path. So when you're in doubt, think back of that unorganized flea market and look for the things that speak to your soul. Thank you.
Thank you.